Okay, I'm gonna do a video blog today since there's a lot that happened this weekend and I don't really feel like writing it all out. I went to the Chianti Hills this weekend, which is about 45 minutes from Florence on a bus. So I left for Chianti on Saturday. I had to meet my group by the train station, the pharmacy by the train station. And my roommates and I went to go try to find the pharmacy and we couldn't find it and we kept looking. So I start running into stores and asking people where the pharmacy is. So I had to ask like three people before we actually found the pharmacy. And then we found it and met our group and we took a charter bus to an estate in Chianti. And it's a family run estate and they have their own olive trees and grapevines, like vineyards. And so when we got there, we got into our rooms, and the rooms are really nice. It's like better than our apartment. I was with 5 other people, and there are 2 bathrooms, like 2 really big bedrooms and a kitchen. And so after we unpacked, we kind of like talked with our group leaders about stuff, and I kind of wrote some stuff down. They were saying like how less than 1% of American students study abroad, which I thought was crazy. So I thought it'd be maybe like 10% study abroad, but it's less than 1%. And they also budget in an extra 100% for electricity because Americans use so much energy. So when they figure out how much they're going to charge us for our apartment, they budget in 100% more. Italy's getting rid of plastic bags this year. So you'll have to bring your own bags to buy groceries with. And some differences about like being in Italy and being at home. Like in Italy, people aren't attached to their cell phones. Some people don't even have internet. They're just more, they're not as attached to like being online and through like electronics, which is pretty cool. We also learned that prego, the word prego, has many meanings. Sometimes it means like come in. It's just like a word people say. It has a lot of meanings. And people always say allure. It's kind of like saying like if you have nothing to say, people just say allure. It's funny, my teacher always says allure in class because she doesn't know what to say. Italians eat dinner late, starting at like 8 o'clock. One night we ate dinner at like 10:30 or 11, and it was like a normal hour to eat dinner. It was fun. And they also don't eat bread with their pasta because that's 2 starches. They usually have the bread before, and then they have the pasta if they're going to have bread, but never with the pasta. And you don't drink milk, you eat milk with your cereal, and with other foods you don't like just have a glass of milk. And also, since I'm in HTM, the restaurants here aren't concerned about like seat turnover, trying to get as many people in and out of their restaurant. They're concerned with like hospitality and like making sure the guest feels comfortable. Like having an income isn't their top priority. It's just hospitality. And if they can get their guests to stay in the restaurant for 3 hours, then that will be a good night for them. It's not about the money, which I thought was cool. So after we talked, we had dinner at 8 o'clock. And the first course was this soup, which was phenomenal. It was like rice and peas and beans mixed up. It was really good. And we also had Chianti wine to drink, which was good. And after the soup, we had like pork and raisins and potatoes, which was really good. And then for dessert, we had I forget the name of it, but it's a dessert they only serve around Carnival time in Venice. It's like a fried dough with powdered sugar. It was really good. And then that was all for Saturday. And then Sunday we woke up and had a buffet breakfast. They had like yogurt and honey, like cereal, like different types of cakes and toast. And that was really good. And then we got to tour the wine cellars of the estate, which there were some really big barrels of wine, and they talked about like how they make the wine, and she talked about like her family history, which was interesting. And then we had a 4-course lunch, which was really good. We also had our wine tasting. The lunch at first we had some bread, and then we had, trying to remember here, it's on my Facebook. We had like 2 dishes of pasta, and then we had gelato. Oh yeah, we had, the first course was bread with like different spreads on it to taste with the wine, to see how the wine tasted after eating the different breads. And then we had ravioli, which was so good. And then we had pasta with meat, and then we had gelato. So it was a good lunch. And then what happened? Then we packed up and headed back to Florence. So it was just a short little trip, but it was fun. Like, the food was so good, and it was fun to just get away and like see the countryside. Tuscany is really pretty. A lot of estates and vineyards. So, and it was cool that we were like staying with a family. It wasn't like a hotel. So that was my weekend. I'll try to post some pictures on my blog too, so you can look at like some of the food and stuff.